it's the Chuck Shoe Podcast. I'm back. It's been like, a day? So, quick shout out to Bo and the True Villains band for my last episode. That episode is being shared a lot on social media, and that is great. He's a great guy, and that band is really good, so definitely check them out. That episode, the True Villains, check out their music. They're definitely one to keep an eye on. And speaking of bands to keep an eye on, my guest today, the band of Limbo, is also one to keep an eye on. This band is extremely talented. I first heard of them from the singer of Joyous Wolf, Nick Reese, who was recently on. And this band of Limbo, they've toured with Joyous Wolf, as well as doing shows with Hinder, Filter, Blue Oyster Cult, Wolfmother, Adelita's Way, others. I feel like I'm just lucky to have them on my show right now. They're getting a big following, and the guys are super cool. Like, we had 3 of the 4 band members, the 2 brothers, Jake the singer, Luke the guitarist, and also the bass player Rob joined in as well. So this is a really fun interview. These guys made me laugh. They're really cool, and they seem like they're just really fun to hang out with. So I'm hoping to catch them live on tour when shows happen again. And for now, you can get to know them here on my show. Enjoy. Okay, let's do this. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Chuck Shoe Podcast. So if you guys want to just introduce yourselves so everyone knows who's who.
I'm I'm Luke. I play guitar.
Okay.
And sing.
We are of Limbo. This is Luke, the lead guitarist. I'm Jake, his brother, bigger brother.
Singer.
And I play guitar sometimes, and I sing a bit.
Okay.
I'm Rob. I play bass.
Play bass.
He gets let sing a little bit too.
Like backing vocals and stuff?
Yeah, both of us do the backing vocals. He's the lead guy.
Yeah, I haven't seen you guys live. I've only heard the studio stuff, so I'd be excited to see you live at some point.
Yeah,
it's
hopefully soon.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, do you have some shows planned?
We have nothing planned until COVID allows the world to spin again.
Yeah,
it's kind of locking down again.
We are, it's getting to the point where if it keeps going like this, then maybe we'll have to go and do shows in bimbuck towns in Texas that allow secret shows to happen. But yeah, as it is right now, we're just sort of going with the flow and seeing if everything really opens up next year and we can tour again.
Yeah, because I'm seeing a lot of shows booked in Texas and Florida. I think those 2 states seem to have a little bit less rules.
Yeah.
Well, good for them.
Yeah.
Lots of places with less people too, so it's a better place to do it.
Yeah, and the smaller towns, like you said, Timbuktu or whatever. So, let's just let's talk about how you guys got started. The two of you, the brothers, you guys actually started in Australia, right? You started playing guitar when you were teenagers.
Yeah. Well, back when I was about 13 or so, Jake gave me a guitar, and we started just he showed me a Black Album by Metallica, gave me a guitar, and I kind of just built my passion for it right from there. And we started playing a little bit together. But then Jake moved to the States, and he came to Long Beach, where we live right now. And we spent, 7 or 8 years kind of apart. And I ended up moving in with him about 2012, early 2012, 2013. And we started kind of rekindling that flame of playing music together, and it just felt kind of natural and good again. So I dropped out of school, where I was going in Boston for a little bit, and ended up staying with him, and we just fucking kept the train going,
Yeah, but so backing up at the beginning, because Jake, you were really obsessed with Nirvana originally, and then Alice in Chains, and so you have some of this, the typical influences like Led Zeppelin, The Doors, but then I heard Michael Jackson is one of the influences. Tell me about that one.
Yes, they do.
Everybody in the band's got eclectic tastes.
Okay.
I definitely love a bit of Jackson. So does Luke, but Luke loves a bit of John Mayer. Luke loves a lot of the classic jazz musicians, Chet Baker, like all the rest of it. So, I would take influence from as many pools as possible. But I guess when talking about how Jackson relates to our music, it's kind of it's almost a rappy thing, but with melody that Jackson always did, that we definitely incorporate every here and there. Like song Happened Again, the chorus is quite rappy. Bam, 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 bam.
Kind of like he does in Dirty Diana.
Yeah. Dirty
Diana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got to stop that and walk, gotta be
kind of like the sassy melodies that make it in between kind of rappy and rocky.
It's very punctuated, staccato notes rather than holding long notes.
Gotcha.
Really,
yeah, I did have the guitar Steve Stevens who does the solo on Dirty Diana. Yeah.
Did he have his hair teased into the bird thing?
He still got some puffy hair for sure. Yeah, I don't know if it wasn't as far as puffy as in that video, but for sure, yeah, he's still. Yeah, it's interesting. You'd think some of those guys would lose their hair after a while, like the hair,
especially with the amount of product they put in there, right?
Totally. So yeah, you guys, you said that when you guys started playing rock music, there wasn't a lot of people playing. It was 8 years ago. I'm trying to think. There really wasn't a lot of rock bands. It seems like there's a lot more now.
Yeah, I don't think it was 8 years ago. It was probably when we were first started to do it, just me and him in the bedroom. It was probably like 7 years ago now. And
okay.
Yeah, they're definitely. We didn't know of anybody else that was doing it, so we thought, oh shit, if we want to hear it, then there's got to be other people that want to hear good rock music again. But yeah, as we're sort of looking around in every different direction, all there was really indie rock kind of stuff, and it wasn't really what we were talking about trying to do. And it wasn't until we met Joyous Wolf that we realized, oh, okay, there is actually another couple people that are starting to do this. And then we met Them Evils. They're also doing it in a little different way. They're more on a sort of AC/DC vibe, I would guess. But yeah, we came to realize, shit, we're not the only ones. There's maybe like a little bit of a sort of movement here in a way.
Yeah, in America, you said it's easier to make it in a rock band in America as opposed to Australia. I heard you talking about this thing. This is interesting. I never heard this before. This must be a cultural thing. Tall poppy syndrome. And you said in Australia, there's a thing called tall poppy syndrome. So that means like in a field of poppies, people want to cut down the tallest poppy. So it's like kind of like the people that if you're making it, they're going to mock you and try to cut you down. They don't like it if you're making it and it's successful in Australia.
That's absolutely right to some extent. But if you like really make it, like let's say like Vance Joy or some Australian that's really made it,
Airborne,
then when they're up there, everyone's like, oh yeah, he was my friend. I always supported him. I've always been there from the start. And it's fucking bullshit.
Huh.
But
whilst you're on the way in the process, there was none of that support.
Yeah, it's the opposite. It's just tearing you down. I can't believe he's going to waste his life trying to be a muser. Have you heard what Luke's doing? Oh my god.
So
but also to add another point to that, it's a lot to do with the field that you go into because they're very supportive of anything, pretty much sport. Or at least any sort of sport that they condone, like football or cricket or anything like that.
Even if you have absolutely no business playing football, you're like a short little dude.
He's having a go.
Or whatever.
He's having a go. He's a real hustler.
Yeah, give him a go. He's trying his hardest. And they'll support you till the cows come home. But yeah, if you try and do something artistic or musical or whatever.
Interesting. So you did try to play some music in Australia? Like I thought you said something like there's some bars you could go to.
Not as us. Not as of Limbo. No.
But
we both had bands as we were growing up as teenagers, etc.
But I mean, in terms of that, I don't think the reason why we moved out here was specifically because of that. It's also because the scene is just non-existent there compared to what it is here. And if it's as dead as it kind of was here, like you spoke about in 2013, you can only imagine what it was in Australia. It's non-existent.
It's kind of grown back a little bit over there. Like legacy bands like Wolfmother have had a bit of a resurge.
Yeah,
sort of upcoming punk bands that are getting a lot of attention, but it's still, I mean, shit. There's so much larger of a market out here. And
name any new rock bands out of Australia?
I can't name the punk band I'm thinking of, but people out here.
Punk's different though. Punk's a different animal.
Sure.
Anyway.
Yeah. But they can't. There's not necessarily like a Whiskey a Go-Go or rock club in Melbourne.
That's part of it. The stages are worse. There's none of that.
There's a couple little spots there's one called Cherry Bar that's in Hardware Lane in Melbourne, and another one called the Tote. But this is real like nickel and dime.
It's like a bar. It's just like a bar. It's and that's where most of the big artists are playing, unless it's like some sort of theater.
Yeah.
Which you have to be at that point. You have to be very prestigious and well known. But there's no like in between, which is for us. We got Viper, we got Sunset, we got Roxy, which is not quite the level of being at a theater or something.
Right.
But it's also better than playing the local bar around the corner. You know.
Yeah, you said there was sometimes you go to a bar and you'd be playing a gig in Australia and it'd be like 5 people and maybe 3 of them are.
even just before Wolfmother, we did this tour with Wolfmother. We were talking to them about what the state of rock and roll was like, and I was mentioning to them, like, dude, I looked at some of your videos, and it was before rock had this little resurgence back in Australia again. Some of their videos were them playing at like local pubs in Byron Bay area or whatever, and there's like 20 people. This is Wolfmother, who were like a damn top 10 selling rock band in the early 2000s. So it really, definitely has a lower draw unless it's the cool popular thing at that moment.
So is other music more popular in Australia?
Yeah, massively.
Like
a lot of indie folk singer-songwriter stuff is massively popular.
EDM.
Also, any electronic music is really popular.
Of course,
Chainsmokers kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
anything
then,
like that.
Gotcha. So then, Luke, you ended up going to, was it Berklee School of Music on the East Coast?
Yeah.
Did you apply there from Australia, or did you move to the States and then apply?
No, I applied from Australia.
Is it hard to get into that? I feel like that's pretty prestigious, right?
Yeah, it was hard. I went for jazz. So I had taken jazz for a few years at the end of high school, and that's what I was kind of really into at the time, and that's what I went for. And I was fortunate enough to get a spot there, and then went for it was only like 2 semesters, and then I decided that I needed, because there's no gap between Australian school and when college starts here. You have to go straight into it.
Mm-hmm.
Decided I needed a gap, and so I moved in with Jake for just a couple months here in Long Beach, and then I never went back.
Is that okay? And that's when you guys started of Limbo.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and you describe it as party rock with a darker edge.
I don't know if I would describe it as that, but
somebody did.
I like it. I mean, I think that's pretty close.
Okay.
One of our bass player Rob's friends described it as a sex rock. I like that too.
I like that a lot.
I don't know if that's really accurate either, but I like that.
I think party rock. I think party rock at times, sex rock at times, fucking dark edge at times. Like, at different times, that's one thing we like to pride ourselves on, is try to make it as eclectic as possible. With the sounds between songs. Because if you're going to get a little bit of anything.
Totally.
Live wise, we definitely try and concentrate on making the show as fun as possible for people. So live wise, the party rock thing, I guess, definitely comes into play a bit. You don't want to watch a band that just stands there and morosely sways from side to side for 2 hours,
Yeah.
So we try and be as upbeat and high energy as possible whenever we're playing live. So we usually cater our live song choices to being as upbeat and fun and dynamic as possible.
And then do you do some on stage antics? Like I just had a guy on who does like fire breathing on stage, and Nick from Joyous Wolf, he's doing all sorts of crazy moves and stuff. Do you do a lot of that kind of thing to kind of get attention?
We don't really have a lot of pre-planned antics, but a lot of wild things tend to happen. Like one time not too long ago, a girl got her boobs out on the stage and then stage dived, and everybody parted the seas. She landed flat on her boobs. So that was one thing I can think of. Another thing,
but her boobs saved her. They cushioned her then, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, they should. I mean, they were probably afraid to get Me Too'd by catching her by the boobs.
Oh god,
we got a song it's the goofiest song we'll ever write, but it's the song that we always close with because everybody loves rocking out to it. It's called "Let's Get Fucked Up," and I mean, as far as antics goes, there's a lot of drinking that goes on during the song. There's me feeding the crowd drinks, me feeding Luke beers, me taking slams of it in between vocals. I mean, there's one where an antic I frequently do where I go, "Let's get fucked up," and I hold the beer above my mouth, and the beer actually stops me from singing the note and bubbles out everywhere. I don't think that's too COVID appropriate these days, but it was pre-COVID times. It was just fun.
That sounds super fun. Damn, man, I want to see a show now. Do you feel like you make fans by doing that kind of shit, like being kind of crazy? Because a lot of people might go to the show for Joyous Wolf or another band, and you guys are the opener, then you have to kind of win them over, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've always had a good crossover with fans with Joyous Wolf, but I think where we really gained the biggest traction of fans that we didn't have before is we toured with Hinder last year across the country and back, and I wouldn't necessarily have thought were our exact world of rock and roll, but who's exactly the same these days anyway. But every time when we'd finish the show, we had a line as far as the eye could see of people wanting to come up and meet us and hang out and buy things and sign things and all the rest of us. And all the rest of it, and told us how great we were. So we definitely gained a lot of fans on that little tour right there. Joyous Wolf fans, I think a lot of them already know us, and a lot of our fans already know them.
Okay, yeah, very cool. So you guys,
yeah, I think the Antics have a big part to do with it for sure.
Absolutely.
You gotta have a good time.
You gotta make
what we're all doing this for,
right?
And make people feel
included. To have your job.
Yeah, and now aren't you? Now you come from a theater background, right?
Yeah. For sure. I went to Cal State Long Beach for theater, and I've grown up doing like musicals and stuff.
And so
it's kind of,
what does that bring to the band? Like, do you bring some sort of like? I mean, you're obviously not. You help him with his stage moves and stuff, and have like you're running and singing and.
There's running and singing. How about that? That's funny.
Okay, he helps us in a lot of ways with the running and singing. He's got a lot of good exercise moves that he puts me through to keep me able to sing well. But one thing that makes me think of that is there's a Guns N' Roses documentary about when they were first starting, and there's this photographer who's talking about, I saw them at the Ritz, and I literally didn't know which way to point my camera because everything was going on at once. The bass player's doing something, the guitar's doing something, the vocal's doing something. And that's something that we've really gained with Rob joining the band is it's not just me and Luke sort of maintaining the movement of the show at the front. Now we've got Rob, who is an absolute performing animal and doing fucking high kicks and
really
20 faces and spin moves and whatever the hell tickles his fancy at the time. That's the great thing about being able to play rock music is you don't have to conform to any kind of set stage moves or anything. It's just whatever the hell's tickling your fancy at that moment, and Rob goes pretty crazy within the parameters of that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not to think, you just kind of move, and have a good time, and it's kind of that's where you're like reading the room and stuff.
Yeah,
you're actually legitimately connecting with the audience.
Absolutely. No, because then I know I had like Less Than Jake, the singer from that band on, and he was like, it's a punk band. And he was saying back in the day, he'd put on all these crazy costumes and stuff. It's like another thing just to get people's attention. Do you guys ever,
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't even call it a crazy costume. This is just Rob's daily wardrobe. But I'm sure that 90% of the audience would be like, wow, look at that guy. He's really trying pretty hard in that costume.
What's he wearing?
This is just what Rob wears to 7-Eleven.
Explain to me one of the costumes, because you look dressed pretty regular right now.
So
this is about the most regular he's dressed in months.
Well, we had a secret show about a week ago for just some friends to test out a local venue's sound equipment for them and give them a hand with that. And me and Luke arrived in normal attire. We hadn't seen Rob up until this point. Rob comes out wearing skin tight leather spandex that definitely hugged his man parts quite tightly. Too tight. And it was just leather pants and suspenders, and that was about it.
And suspenders?
Yeah. Oh, you betcha, dude. You gotta keep those things up.
All right. I follow. I think I follow Jake and Luke on Instagram. I guess I gotta follow Rob too. That sounds. Is there pictures of that?
He's more active than either one of us.
He's not posting a lot about his fashion sensibilities. But
that's disappointing.
But it will come up on our stuff occasionally too. So just keep an eye out.
Okay.
And you'll see some magic every now and again.
Limbo posts the greatest hits.
Okay. Awesome. So yeah, tell me. You mentioned you opened for Hinder. You've opened up for some really like Blue Oyster Cult. That's a pretty big band. Yeah. What was that like?
Cool.
That was the first time we've ever played to a seated audience before.
Oh,
it was a little
really?
bit different, but
they loved it.
I think we won them over by the end. I do remember that within the very first song we do, at the end of it, I let out a pretty loud scream, or pretty high scream, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
And I looked down to the audience because there's like no music going on at this point. It's just me doing this note. And I looked down to the audience, and right in the front row is this little old lady, and she's literally like this. With her fingers in her ears.
Plugging her ears. Okay.
And, plugging her ears. So I almost cut the note a little bit short because of it. And then I'm like, oh God, everyone hated this fucking moment. And then the whole crowd stood up roaring, cheering. So
wow.
It was just one old lady.
Yeah,
right?
you can't please every old lady or every person.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, they picked you to open up, so they must have listened to your music, I assume, or.
Yeah, I'm not sure who it was in the band that made that happen. I know that TKO, our booking agency, was definitely involved.
Either way, they were very flattering at the end of the set. Either way, so that was a big plus.
Another great story about that is at the start of it, we walk up. Yeah, we walk up. Exactly. We walk up to get our shit set up, our equipment set up, or whatever. And this older gentleman with a long silvery ponytail comes up, puts his hand on our face, goes, "Hi, I'm Sean blah, 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 sound man for Blue Oyster Cult." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Nice to meet you, dude." Blah, blah, blah. He's like, "So how long do you think you're playing tonight?" I said, "Well, I think we got 45. Let me stop you right there. I prefer opening acts to play as short as possible." I was like, "All right, man. Well, all respect to you guys. It's your show. We're just happy to be here. We'll cut it down to 30 for you." And then we did do it. We did cut it down to about 30. And then afterwards, the guy came up to me. He shook my hand with both hands this time. You know, that little move. Shook my hand with both hands. He goes, "Wow, you guys are actually something special. Usually the bands that we have open up for us are fucking trash. If I had known you guys were this good, I'd let you play the full 45. No problem. No problem."
Wow, that's a great story, though. That's interesting. That guy sounds a little interesting. You meet a lot of characters like that in the rock world. I would think.
Dude, non-stop.
Yeah.
That guy sounds like a little uptight, though. I feel like most people in the music industry are more laid back.
He's been doing it for a while.
Uptight because, like, exactly, when you've been doing it for that long, it's not like you get jaded, but you just meet so many bands and so many people. And most of the time, I imagine, if you're talking to opening bands, not a lot of them are impressing you, you know? So you just kind of, it becomes a little bit of a just fucking routine how you speak to them, as opposed to it being something personable when you actually like their sound.
Yeah, and I believe him when he says most bands we see open for us fucking suck. That's probably true.
Yeah, probably true.
He's running the sound for the most famous cowbell in rock and roll history. Like, you gotta respect.
Do people scream out like more cowbell during that song or throughout the show?
I think I heard it a few times.
There's definitely a lot of cowbell mentioned throughout the night.
That would get so annoying. I feel like.
For them.
Yeah, it's got to be really annoying for them.
Yeah.
What about?
I definitely did not mention it at all to them.
That's nice. That's nice. What about Filter? You guys toured with them or did some shows?
Well, it was supposed to be a full tour, and then the full tour didn't happen. It ended up just being one show, and it was great. It was great. It was the biggest audience we've ever played for in LA, which is cool. It was at the Regent Theater. It was the night before Thanksgiving, so just about a year and a week away from today is what it was, and it was the first show we played that was a real big, legitimate show with our new drummer and new bass player, Rob, who you got here.
Yeah.
And it went great. I think we got a lot of spillover audience from them too.
Do you think
done better?
Okay, so how long was that set? Did you get the full 45 for that one?
Yeah, that was a full 45.
Okay, nice. And then what about, do you like doing the club tours? Like you did the tour with is it Adelita's Way and Joyous Wolf, right? Was that all three of you guys?
That was us three and another band called Down North from Seattle. That was great. Like, listen, we're happy to do it, high, low, small, wide, big, whatever. I mean, obviously, the larger the audience, the more.
My kind of girl.
The more people, the more people you can show your music to or sell the brand to, the better. But shit, sometimes when it's just a room like the Corazon in Seattle that we did with Adelita's Way and Joyous Wolf, when it's just like 70 people or something like that, but it's actually packed wall to wall, it can feel like the connection of energy is that much easier to transfer, and people really can get into it that much easier than when it's a sea of people in, say, a place like the Region.
Absolutely.
So they've all got their place. It's rad.
Yeah. Do you like doing the festivals? You guys did Sturgis, right?
We did Sturgis. We've never done what I would call like a festival yet. We're hoping when it was supposed to happen this year with TKO, and then COVID stopped that. But we're hoping next year, if COVID goes away, that we can get all that happening again. We definitely want to go Sturgis again. But yeah, we're hoping to get on actual festival circuit.
Is that you had said at that point, I think I heard an interview, you said that was the furthest that you've kind of traveled. Is that still the furthest you've gone? Or have you gone?
Absolutely the furthest.
Okay.
We had to, I think that was our first show on that tour as well. So we had to drive all the way out there and then begin the tour, which was pretty gnarly.
Okay. So, and then tell me about this. This is a crazy story. April 2018, Oklahoma City, your van crashes And I saw the pictures. I don't know how you guys survived that. You had to be cut out of the van.
Yeah, I had to be cut out of the van, but to how we survived it. I mean, the guys that were cutting me out of the van didn't think anyone would have survived either. They told us afterwards that they literally walked down to the van with the body bags in their hands because they said, "Oh, we just assumed we're there for cleanup."
Oh my God!
And, luckily, my brother and our bass player at the time, Herbie, were in the front seat. They were able to cut themselves free of their seat belts. Our old drummer Juan got ejected, but luckily landed on a field and only broke his collarbone. I was a little bit less fortunate. I was stuck under the twisted metal for about 45 minutes or so, and that had to buzzsaw me out. I saw the sparks of the buzzsaw coming through my head. I'm like, "Don't fucking cut my face!"
Jesus Christ! Were you scared shitless?
I was definitely scared. I knew my leg was broken, and I was in a lot of discomfort. But there's also going through your head at the same time, like, Jesus, if that metal that's compressing me right now was like an inch more compression, my brains would be everywhere. So I was already kind of thankful at the fact that I was looking good to survive.
So what the hell happened? Did you guys did someone fall asleep at the wheel?
Very bumpy road in it's like a back highway in through Oklahoma.
The back highway or the fucking main highway?
Oh, it's the main highway.
The fucking main highway there.
Much like California interstates are not always the best taken care of.
It was a really, really shitty highway. I was driving. We hit a pothole and the back right tire blew when we were going 75. And then it just kind of jackknifed after I took my foot off the accelerator. It wheel just jackknifed in one direction, and suddenly we were rolling, and thankfully we didn't hit any other cars, but we rolled on the concrete, and then we fell off the road into a grass ditch below.
That's crazy. That's like a lawsuit against the city if they didn't fill in that pothole.
Well, I was kind of pursued a little bit, but we were the lawyer I had that was going to try and get all my medical bills paid for by Oklahoma. Pursued it with some local lawyers, and local lawyers said there was simply not enough here.
We didn't have the tire. We didn't have photos of the road, like where it happened. When it happened, we didn't get any of the stuff. We were all in shock. You know, like I hitchhiked my way to the hospital in order to see my brother before he got into surgery. You know, like it was a 100-degree day. You know, it was the craziest, 12 hours of my life probably. But so the last thing that we were thinking about was gathering evidence for an impending lawsuit.
Exactly. So talk about your perseverance, because after that, I mean, I think some people might have given up and been like, fuck this, I don't want to be on the road and all this. Like, you guys kept going though.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't really think there's any kind of giving up now. The giving up point was maybe a year in or so. You could do that, but once you've gone this far,
exactly. It's like that old fucking, not even fable. What is it? The
point no return.
Yeah, exactly. The old idiom about when you're in the fucking boat and you make it halfway, and once you cross halfway, like you're really gonna go all the way back.
More fucked up.
Like exactly, you're already 60% of the way there. Easier to go the 40 and the rest of the way than go back 60.
And what's back there for you if you were to get
rebuilding in a whole new career or a whole new industry or a whole new whatever, and that's definitely 60% back. I guarantee you that much.
Well, do you see the band over you started 2015? In the last 5 years, you must have seen the numbers grow, like on social media and Spotify downloads and all that stuff, right?
It's gone pretty well. We've had a different, as you've talked about, the van thing was a bad one because it was our, it was our first national tour. Mm-hmm. So as far as really getting that breakthrough moment, we've had a couple false starts, and just when it seems like this year was going to be great for us, everything lining up with TKO and everything like that, then boom, COVID hits. But it's all about just keeping one foot in front of the other and, trying to make it work as best we can. One thing we've noticed with Spotify and YouTube and everything like that, and now even with social media, is you really kind of need money behind it to an extent to push the sponsorship of it, push the advertising of it. And we haven't had much in the way of investment behind us thus before. So we're hoping that'll change and that'll help and progress as next year comes together for us. But it's just steady as she goes. You're never gonna lose popularity. How about that?
No, absolutely. So what do you mean the money behind it? Or you don't have like
there's only a certain extent a lot of the time that how much an organic reach that you have can actually get out there and spread. Whilst it seems like a lot of these platforms are now being geared a lot more towards the model of if you pay for sponsorship,
sponsored advertising.
Then they exactly sponsored advertising. Then they reward that with actually getting some sort of results, as opposed to if you don't, they're trying to get that out of you so that you don't get a lot of the organic the reach that you would otherwise.
An interesting example of that is like in the earlier days of Instagram, I had this little model that I followed where I would just go and find Soundgarden or whatever, and I would just like a bunch of people's shit that like Soundgarden or follow a bunch of people that follow Soundgarden. And it was able to garner us a massive following on Instagram, and we were getting lots of likes and selling lots of shit that way and whatever. But then when Facebook took it over, we noticed like a dramatic change. And what I think Facebook realized is that this is essentially a advertising platform for a lot of small businesses like us. And if it's advertising, we want those fuckers to pay us. So now they've got a system where not only do you have to pay to get new fans, new people to see your stuff, you actually have to even pay for the existing audience that you have as your followers a lot of times to see your thing. They ask for like, what's it called, Luke? Maintenance promotion or something like that.
Yeah.
It's because I have like
$1 just so my fucking post of a selfie can be seen by my own fans.
No, I know it's so stupid. I have because on the Facebook page for my podcast, it has like 1,000 fans, and it will tell you how many people you reached, and it will say reached 89 fans. Or I'm like, wait, I have 1,000. Why didn't 1,000 people see that? Or like 800? Like, but yeah, they want you to boost the post so that your own fans see it. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
And
it's because Zuckerberg's really hurting for the cash right now. I think,
No, and you know what else they've done recently is they blocked all the hashtags, which is how I a lot of my fans will when I post like of Limbo, and I'll do hashtag of Limbo, hashtag all your names, like you said, hashtag Soundgarden. That's how a lot of people will find the post is through the hashtags. They've blocked all the hashtags because of the election. They don't want false information.
The hashtags. And the other one that they do that's lovely that I've seen from a lot of local promoters we know is that when you make an event, if you've made too many events or something like that, then they disallow you to invite people to these events. Like if you're an actual promoter, I want to invite 100 of my friends to this fucking show.
Yeah.
If you've done too many of these things,
I did not know
blocks
that.
you from doing that. It's like,
yeah, they're really cracking that. It's really stupid, but yeah, talk about your the producer that you worked with. He saw you guys at the Viper Room, and he reached out to you and said, I need to get you in the studio. And he picked 4 songs out of all like whatever 30, 40 songs that you guys had. Tell me about that. How did that process go? You're not working with him anymore, I know, but he helped record.
Well, not currently. We did that Nothing But Now EP with him. That was our first work with him. But yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. We played a night at the Viper Room. It was, I think, a New Year's Eve night, or maybe it wasn't that. A different show than that. My mistake. Either way, we played a night there. He saw us. He loved it. He loved the energy of us. He told us he really wanted to get us in there. So he came down to Long Beach one day. We got a studio here, just a studio in our house. And Mike Pepe is his name, by the way.
Yeah.
Works out of Barefoot Studios. And he came down here. He listened to all the tracks that we had. He selected these 4 as the ones that he thought he could get the kind of the most juice out of. And we went with those. We went in there. We spent, I don't know, it was better part of 4 weeks tracking with him just for 4 songs. And that's how that relationship kind of developed right there.
Okay. So, and then how does that work with cause I just had a guy on and he was saying it was a similar thing where this really big producer from Foo Fighters recorded some songs, and it seems confusing, like how the producer gets paid. Is it like on the back end with like royalties and things?
Well, the producer got paid by our band / by our fans who have so lovingly purchased merch and purchased the CD that came out of it.
Yeah.
So when we finished the whole thing, I was quite in debt from the process, even though Mike gave us an incredible deal because he was so desperate to get us in there. He gave us a great deal compared to what a band with a massive Universal record deal or whatever would be paying him. But still, it was a hit financially. So the idea from there was that instead of releasing every song all at once on Spotify and just going, oh, there you go, everybody have it for free, we're going to try and recoup a little bit of the losses. And that's what this Nothing But Now limited edition EP is that we have on our website. Every one of these CDs, there's only 100 to ever be made, and every one of them is numbered, signed, and personalized illustration by me under the CD, and this whole fucking 20-page fat booklet that's full of a lot of the insights and insider process of what happened at Barefoot to make it all happen, etc. And the way we're sort of recouping some of the money is by charging an exorbitant amount of money for these little 4-song EP, which is $25. It seems a little crazy for 4 songs, but at the same time, it's like a lot of fucking money, time, love went into those 4 songs.
Absolutely.
And those people that have been purchasing it so far are the people that are aware of what it takes to make those.
And Jake, you draw a fucking personalized drawing for every single one of it. $25 is not exorbitant. You're spending like 30,
that's awesome.
45 minutes to an hour on each one of these drawings, and you're a sick artist. I would pay $25 just for the drawing.
That's very cool. Yeah, so I love that song. Do you like the song Nothing But Now? Because that's seems like kind of a departure from your other songs.
Well, we try and make every song a departure from our other songs, dude. But
yes, that one certainly is.
Definitely the most. That's definitely the most polarizing song we've ever made.
I love it. I think it's actually one of my favorite songs that you guys do.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it so much.
Really?
It's an interesting one. It's like one night, middle of the night, the lyric came to my head, and then it's the first time I think we've ever built a song out of the lyric. It was like just everything from nothing but fucking nothing but now. Everything from that was like, okay, what's the guitar that goes over that? Okay, what's the drums that go over that? We just we didn't even have it like really properly demoed out and recorded when we showed it to Mike Pepe. We just had this really rough me whispering into the microphone and then Luke doing a super, not even structured song. But he was like, okay, that's the fucking one. We're doing that one for sure. We kind of built it in the studio.
So how do you guys usually write? So you said that was a departure songwriting wise.
Normally it starts with the guitar riff.
Okay.
And then
from Luke or from you?
Then sort of figure out what we think the drums would be from there.
Okay.
And then finally it's like start adding vocal melodies, but it's just beat 'em bop boodle out dee da boodle doodle doo or whatever. And then you put the words to the boodle doodle. Oh, boodle doodle doo sounds like I like to do a doo-doo, So
but who does the guitar? Do you do the guitar riffs or Luke or both of you?
It's a mixture. Some are mine, some are his.
Okay.
And same with the vocals.
Okay. Very cool. So right now, like you said, all your tours you don't have any shows scheduled.
We have a couple highly illegal things in the works.
Illegal?
To talk about because COVID restrictions here in California.
California is strict, is it not? Yeah.
So we're doing a couple little things in the works, but yeah, we can't let old Gavin Newsom hear about that because then it might send in the stormtroopers.
I saw that he got busted for going out to dinner, some dinner party or something. So
yeah, do as I say, not as I do. That's the government's way, right?
I guess so. Jeez. So what bands?
To every politician.
I hope some motherfuckers watching his front door to see how many people go over to his house for Thanksgiving. That's what I'm really hoping for.
Yeah.
He's telling us we could only have 3 people for Thanksgiving.
Is that the rule? 3? 3? Oh, wow. And isn't it only like 2 hours and no singing and no loud music and?
Oh, you're not allowed to hold hands. You're not allowed to pray.
I think no fun was part of the stipulation.
No smiling.
No fun. Yeah.
So when tours do come back, what bands do you want to tour with? Are there new bands that you're listening to that you guys are really into that you want to maybe team up with?
Oh shit. God, you got one on this, Luke? Anybody and everybody. How about that? I'd love to play. Okay. I'd love to go on tour with our friends Joyous Wolf again. Mm-hmm. We've never done a full, proper big one. We've only ever done like little here and there stuff. I'd love to go like night in, night out with them. There's a few different bands that are on the TKO roster that I think would be good fits for us. I think Buck Cherry would probably be a good fit for us. Yeah. I think we'd have a lot of crossover with their fans. I think their fans would really dig our stuff. It's interesting because a lot of the the rock music that I would think we fit into doesn't necessarily reflect where the most appropriate fans are. For instance, like Hinder, I said that was such a successful one for us. I wouldn't think that Hinder's brand of rock was necessarily so in line with ours, but the people that go to Hinder are absolutely the kind of people that loved our music. So wherever the right crowd of people is that will enjoy going out for a good time.
Absolutely.
Dirty Honey I'd like a lot. That would be really cool.
Who?
Dirty Honey?
Oh yeah, they're really good. Or Rival Sons. I know.
Rival Sons would be amazing.
Rival
That would be fun.
I don't know if Jay Bird that sings would like me. I think he'd be like, fuck that guy. He's not folk enough.
Yeah, I don't know about Rival Sons. They would just kick our ass too hard every day. They're like they're the best in the world. So
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Do you guys know, are you familiar with the Black Moods? That's like our Arizona band here.
Yeah, we actually, they beat us on the Classic Rock Magazine Song of the Week.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
I've
what
never
that.
actually met those guys, but a bunch of friends have toured with them. And they seem like great dudes.
That'd be a fun one too. They were going to tour with Joyous Wolf. That'd be cool to have all three of you guys on a tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that was actually on the cards for a minute. Andrew was talking about that.
Oh, really? Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So hopefully the world spins again and we can do all the tours under the sun. I think Steel Panther was recently mentioned.
Really? That would be cool. Yeah, I just had this band called True Villains. They opened up for Steel Panther. So yeah, that's there's like a Nashville rock band. So Jake, besides the band, you do movie and TV poster designs and graphic arts. Tell me about that. Like, how'd you get involved in that?
I was doing that kind of before we even started doing the music thing. It started out when I moved here, I was in the surf industry doing advertising in surf magazines for a company called Hot Tuna. That kind of drifted into me doing stuff for video games, for Namco, doing cover art for video games, advertising for video games, character design, stuff like that. And then it got to a point where the video game one dried up, and I asked myself, well, shit, if I'm going to try and make a career out of this, what the hell do I want to actually do with it? And I thought, oh, you know what? Designing my thought was DVD covers would be pretty cool, because I didn't really understand the whole process of how it works. It goes to be a movie poster first, and then they use the poster on the DVD cover or whatever. Sure. So I found this website, IP Awards, and I just started blasting out my portfolio to all of these different companies that do this, and they all happen to be in LA. About 3 of them responded. 1 of them brought me in, and then I just kept sort of learning how that industry works and rolling with the process from there.
So you did a billboard for Shameless, and you used yourself as a body double?
I did. We had to give me a gut though, so that I could look more like Frank.
That's pretty cool. So you were on a giant billboard.
Yeah, my body was Frank's body. We call it a head strip. We stripped his head onto my body. We shortened my body, and then we gave me a pot belly.
What other movies and TV shows have you done the covers for, artwork?
Lots, dude. I mean, a big one that you guys... True Detective. Okay. Frozen. Nightcrawler with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, I love that movie.
Recently...
You've done some Game of Thrones, haven't you?
I have, but I didn't win. Reno 911. The new Reno 911.
Yeah.
Digi or Quibbly or whatever that was called. Yeah.
Is that...
what's that one with The Rock? Or he's like an entourage guy.
Ballers.
Oh, yeah. That show. Yeah, the HBO or whatever. So is that pretty lucrative?
If you're interested, it's jakedaviescreative.com.
Okay.
Password is 2016.
Nice. Wait, you need a password?
Nice.
What?
You need a password? Is this like your...
Yeah, because I'm not allowed to post posters that were not the final poster of the show. It's kind of like if Warner Brothers pays you to write a song and they record all your riffs that you're writing that day, they own all the riffs that day, even if that riff doesn't make it into the song.
Right.
And they don't want you to show that riff anywhere else, because even if that's not riff didn't make it into the song, they still fucking own it.
And here we are blasting the password to everyone that listens. I love it. I love it.
It's only for movie industry people to they'd be the one that'd be like, fuck you can't do that. But I don't think anyone's listening.
Yeah, is that how you guys can make a lot of money with the music too, right? It's through the licensing. if people buy it for movies and TV and
they call that sync. They call it a sync, and it's shit. If you have a way into that world, dude, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah,
it's a lot of it is who you know, and I mean, once the ball starts rolling, it kind of all rolls in every different direction and all snowballs together.
Yeah.
But we haven't had any success with syncs yet, but fuck, I would love to. We'll get there.
Cool. Another question I had, this is interesting. I saw this, I was going through your Instagram and stuff, and you were talking about conspiracy theories. You have an uncle who's really into conspiracy theories, and you said that if you could have a drink with anyone, it would be Alex Jones. Yeah, so I got to hear about.
I'm the crazy conspiracy theorist in the band.
Oh,
these guys just laugh at me and everything about that. I think he's one of the most entertaining humans that has ever existed. And
but you take it with a grain of salt, right? Like you don't believe everything he says, but it's entertaining.
I don't believe everything he says. I definitely believe some of what he says.
Sure.
But more than that, I want to believe everything that he says.
Did you watch the Joe Rogan, Alex Jones podcast episode?
I sure did. There's a more recent one. I watched that one too.
Is it the one that? Yeah, this was the one that just happened a couple weeks ago. Was there another one?
Yeah, I did. I watched it.
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty tame and well mannered and calm. He was definitely a little bit drunk, and he was annoyed that Rogan wasn't drunk. But I thought he was in good spirits.
So, what's your favorite conspiracy theory? Aliens or government takeover?
I believe. Give me one, and I'll tell you if I believe it or not. I'll tell you something.
Okay, is there aliens?
Give him one, and find one that he doesn't believe.
I don't believe flat Earth. How about that?
You don't believe in flat Earth?
I don't believe in flat Earth, and I also don't believe that the moon landing was faked entirely.
I
think that good. Man has walked on the moon.
Okay, that's good. So, do you believe in aliens?
Yeah, I definitely believe in aliens. There's no question about that. But hold on,
I do too.
To route this back into music along with conspiracy theory.
Okay. Here we go.
So we're working on a covers album called Covered 19, like COVID-19, Covered 19.
Oh, that's good. I like that. That's clever.
We got a few different songs in there, and we're trying to pick ones that are as relatable to things that we've experienced with the whole pandemic, et cetera, as possible. And the one that we're really excited about coming out of the gates with is Golden Earring Twilight Zone.
Oh, and that's a good song.
The way we've really related it, I mean, everyone feels like we're living in the fucking Twilight Zone right now.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, reality TV stars, our president, and then 2, we've got this whole crazy pandemic going on. It feels like we're living in the Twilight Zone. So everyone understands that already, but I looked at the lyrics and read about it, and it's actually about Jason Bourne. The whole thing's about like a Jason Bourne book. I
did not know that at all. But I didn't know those books had been around that long.
They have, yeah.
Okay.
So I read that. I thought that was a little weird. So the way we've updated a bit is by changing the lyrics to be from the perspective of me being a paranoid conspiracy theorist and getting more and more paranoid by the day of the lock-in and shelter and not being able to talk to sane, rational people and have them tell me how ridiculous I am and all the crazy, kooky conspiracies that are coming out of me as a result.
So what is your biggest fear with conspiracy? Like, what is the conspiracy that scares you the most?
That we are heading into a totalitarian, technocratic slave state in which we are not allowed to interact with each other on a human level anymore, and we are chipped, and the chip holds all of our information that is related to a social credit score, that is also related to our own amount of money, credits, whatever, and they can turn us off and on or up and down with our credits depending on how well behaved we are. Full 1984 shit.
That is some scary shit. Well, hopefully the vaccine comes, everything gets better. You guys can go out and tour and rock it up, right?
Hell yes to that.
As soon as possible.
Awesome. Well, I like to end with a charity. Did you guys, I forget, did you have one that you in mind that you wanted to give a shout out to before we end here?
Shout out to the charity that Nick said for the kids. Children's Hospital.
St. Jude's. St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
St. Jude's. Love it. That's
cool.
the one.
Perfect. Awesome.
Sorry, I forgot that note. I apologize. Dude.
No, that's fine. We'll throw that in the notes. St. Jude's will definitely, I'm sure they could use any donations if you got it. Other than that, people should check out your Spotify, your social media, all that stuff. Get some, they can buy these CDs for $25, right?
Yeah, you can buy the new EP. You can have one of the only 100 to ever be made of the Nothing But Now EP.
Okay.
God damn, is it good.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, I hope I can see you guys soon. If you don't come to Phoenix, I will do a road trip if you go to Vegas or somewhere nearby.
We're definitely coming to Phoenix. I love Arizona. We might have to move out there.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. So thanks so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy.
Later,
all right.
Buddy.
Take it easy.
See you later.
So much fun with those guys of Limbo. That's the band. I want to thank Jake, Luke, and Rob for taking the time to come on my little show here. Help them out by following them on social media and listening on Spotify or wherever you listen. Maybe even order some of the merchandise on the website. You can support my show by following me on social media, subscribing wherever you listen or watch the show, or share the episode on social media. And if you really want to go all out, you can rate me a review on iTunes. Thank you all for your continued support of this little adventure of mine. I hope you're enjoying the interviews. I'm having a blast. I've got more lined up that I'm really excited to share with you, but I don't want to jinx it by announcing it here because sometimes obviously things fall through, and I always try hard either way. So just remember, shoot for the moon.